of reaction rates with today's date, which is 4/30/2019. 2019. Tomorrow is May. Tomorrow is May. We have 28 school days left, including today, which means you only have to wake up 27 more times for school. How's that feel? Does it feel good? No. You got what? No. All right. So in your notebook, pages 88 to 89, you're going to title it Investigation of Reaction Rates. Investigation of reaction rates with today's date, which is 4/30/19. Now these instructions are posted at your lab station, so you don't have to take notes on them. You don't have to write them down in your notebooks. What I do want to point out is up at the top, there is a brief introduction. We are changing the layout of how we're doing things, so the second part of this paragraph is not critical to you. You are not going to be making a poster. You are going to be making a video. Okay? So you still want to take notes and make observations, but you will not be making a poster for a gallery walk. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be making a video with your lab partners that will describe one of these situations that we investigate. Okay? It will get turned in on Google Classroom, and I will grade it myself. All right? So, just that last sentence, we're going to kind of negate here, and we're going to look at the procedures. All right? So this lab, we are looking at reaction rates. Now, what we will be doing to look at reaction rates is we're going to be really looking at the dissolving rate of sugar and 3 different factors that can affect the dissolving rate of sugar. Okay? So the first thing you will look at, situation 1, and this you do want to write down, is agitation. Agitation. Okay, so when you guys feel agitated. I have a sister, yes. Just one. Enough. All right, now agitation is a fancy word for stirring, okay? That is really what agitation means. So in today's lab, you are going to be looking at the effects of stirring versus not stirring. So you're going to create a data table. Okay, and you will be looking at stirring versus not stirring. And the amount of time it takes in seconds for your sugar to completely dissolve. Okay, so you are going to draw that data table in your notebook. You're going to have 3 separate data tables, so just keep that in mind as far as spacing. You don't want to take up the whole page for one data table. Stirring versus not stirring. Now, if you read these instructions, it only has you doing the stirring part. And the reason why is the not stirring takes a long time. Okay, so I've actually done that one for you. I did it yesterday with my 3rd period. And the time that it took for not stirring was 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 34 seconds. Okay, so in seconds, that is 4,294 seconds. You're going to write that number down now. Okay? 4,294 seconds for the sugar to dissolve completely without stirring. For the stirring, at your lab station, milliliters. So you're going to fill it up to the 200 line, just with regular tap water. And then you're going to put one of the sugar cubes that's at your lab station into that water. Now, as soon as it hits the water, the other person in your lab group is going to want to start a timer. Okay? Now, with stirring, you do not want to be making tornadoes. This is bad. Okay? One, you could break my stirring rod, and I would be unhappy. And two, it's not going to take very long. It's going to be like 5 seconds, and then you're done. Okay? So what I would ask that you guys do for stirring is to do a slow, steady stir. Just a slow, steady stir to get that water moving. Okay? I do not want to hear clinking. You do not need a vortex down the center of your beaker. Okay? Please, 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 just slow, steady stirring for the stirring situation. Okay? So that's what you're going to be doing for the first situation. Underneath your data table, I am going to ask that you guys write a short conclusion. A short conclusion. And within that conclusion, I'm going to ask that you answer the question, how does agitation affect reaction rates? Okay, so within that conclusion, I'm going to ask that you answer the question, how does agitation affect dissolving rates? Should I send it? I want you to figure out the lab. No. Mr. Alto is wrong. I'll explain my answer once I'm done with this. Okay, situation 2 that you are going to be looking at right underneath your conclusion for situation 1, you're going to set up a new data table. Okay? Situation 2, you're going to be looking at surface area of your reactants. Okay, surface area. So large surface area versus small surface area. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to set up a data table just like this one up at the top. But it's not going to be stirring versus not stirring. Instead, you're going to be looking at a small surface area, like with a sugar cube. And you're going to compare that to a large surface area, like crystal sugar, or sugar crystals. Okay, we call this granulated sugar. Okay, granulated sugar is just those crystals that you get in the big bags at the store. You make cookies with it. Okay, so large surface area is the crystals, small surface area is the sugar cube. Okay. Now with these two, okay, you will be using the triple beam balances that are at the lab stations. I'm going to ask that you do not put the sugar directly on the balance trays, just like we have never put any chemicals directly on the balance trays. You need to use the weigh boats. Okay, so remember, you get the mass of the weigh boat first, add your mass that you want of your sugar, and then add that mass to your weigh boat mass. Okay, so please make sure you are continuing that practice so that you don't have a mess to clean up later. Okay? Underneath your data table, once you have your data, you're going to write another conclusion. And in that conclusion, you're going to answer the question, how does surface area affect reaction rates? All right, and then for the last one, for the last situation, this is just going to go underneath situation 2 if you have room, or you could flip over to page 89. We're going to look at situation 3, which is all about temperature. Your data table is going to look very similar. You have your dissolving time in seconds. You're going to look at room temperature water, okay, which is about 22 degrees Celsius. And then you're going to look at warm water. So you're going to be using the hot plates to get your water temperature up to about 60 degrees Celsius. Okay, so the thermometers are out. The thermometers are out. You don't want boiling water. Okay, you don't want boiling water, but you do want to wait until it reaches about 60 degrees Celsius. And then you take your beaker off. It shouldn't be hot to the touch. You can move it with your hand. And then you're going to look at the difference in time to dissolve. Okay. I only have one hot plate per table, so you will have to share the hot plate between the 2 lab groups. So pay attention to that, be courteous. Underneath your data table, you're going to write your third and final conclusion. And you're going to answer the question, how does temperature affect reaction rates? Okay. Now, I am going to caution you because yesterday my class did not pay attention to their surroundings very well. I had 4 pieces of glass were broken. I had 2 beakers, a thermometer, and a stirring rod broken yesterday in one class. In one class of 26 students. So please, please, please pay attention to your surroundings. I'm out of thermometers. If you break your thermometer, that's it. Okay? You're going to have to eyeball your 60 degrees Celsius or borrow a thermometer from someone else. So please pay attention to your surroundings. Don't knock over a beaker accidentally. Pay attention to your notebooks. Okay? Pay attention to your notebooks and don't knock something into the sink accidentally with your notebook. Just pay attention to your surroundings, please. Okay? Any questions about what you're doing for data collection today? This is not going to take the whole 2 hours. This is probably going to take you about an hour to get done. When you are done with your data collection, you're going to clean up your lab station and you're going to come back to your seats and we'll talk about the next thing